Okay, so what's the deal with pliers? I mean, pliers are kind of pliers are kind of pliers. I mean, you have needle nose, you have channel, like you have, what's it called, box pliers, and you have wire snipped, and you have all these different things, right? And yes, that is truly the case. You do have pretty much a standard style of pliers for a bunch of different things. But the quality of plier, of course, is always a situation that you need to consider or concern, because a good quality plier will be a fluid and easy to use plier, not have too much slop in it, but not be so tight that you can't hardly get it open or closed. And that's a whole different thing. But when you're talking about fabrication, one of the kinds of pliers that are really good to have around the shop, at least I believe, are these pliers right here. Now, these are Lincoln pliers, and I've used some Chinese knockoff pliers. And don't be mistaken, these are made in China. I'm not trying to say that they're not, but they're by Lincoln Welding. And the difference between something that's bought in just from some off-the-wall Chinese name brand versus a well-known and reputable name brand typically is the fact that the Chinese ones don't really care about quality control at all. They just don't. These here though, these usually with big brands that really respect and worry about their name, they have quality control agents that they've trained in the US, typically speaking, or in Europe or something like that. And they actually live in China. They're at this different facilities and manufacturing plants daily, generally, or a couple times a week or something like that. And they go over the quality specifications, making sure the tolerances are correct, making sure that the quality of steel that's supposed to be used is correct versus some just off-the-wall smelted steel that was from some kind of shipwreck that's been rusting in the ocean for 30 years. So yeah, there is a difference in those two things. But when we talk about welding pliers, what makes them so good versus, for instance, these needle nose here, which are equally a decent brand. They're Carlisle, and Carlisle is a good brand. They've held up for a long time, and you can tell that they're good. They have similar features in some ways. These needle nose are come to a sharp point, whereas these don't come to a sharp point. They have grip on the tips of the beak or the nose. This has grip on the tips of the nose. They have a rounded area here with teeth to grab and twist. This also has an area here that is rounded with teeth to grip. They have wire cutters. These have wire cutters on the inside as well, right here. And they have rubberized handles. These have a rubbery plastic handle on them. So why am I saying these are better than those? Well, the reason that these are better are for a number of reasons. The reason it primarily is because they are designed specifically for a function. Whereas the other needle nose pliers, and it really doesn't matter what size you talk about, they're all designed for a general purpose use, and that is a different thing. So this one here has a few features that these needle nose don't. What does it have on these that the standard needle nose don't? First off, on the outside, you have some teeth and grip and stuff, and that allows you to get inside and kind of clean around inside your nozzles. And if you pull your nozzle off, there's a big opening here with teeth on it so that you can pull your nozzle off easily. And then you can go in and you can clean up the nozzle. Man, this nozzle actually did need to be cleaned. So it's good that I'm doing this. And you can run it all the way up in there, and if you, depending on what kind of welding you're doing, if you cut your nozzle back, then it gets thicker back here so that you can get it up in there further. Then this little small area up here in the front that I showed you earlier, those teeth in that little cutout area, is the perfect size for most nozzles so that you can pull, not nozzles, tips, you can pull the tips off and tighten them on without damaging them or without fighting with them. And then you have your wire cutter, of course, so that you can cut wire and feed and stuff like that. I find that the teeth on these inside the needle are actually more aggressive than on the standard needle nose pliers as well. And so it has a little, I guess it's actually kind of like a hammer or something. I don't know why they have that there. It's really built up on these ends. I think some people do kind of use them as a slagging, but I don't know about that. The handle fits nicely. It has a little curved beak. Almost all of them have that same little curved hook on the back side for them to fit in your hands pretty well. And I really do think that these things are good pliers to have around the shop. They're like $20, $15, something like that. I know Hobart makes some. I know Miller makes some. Lincoln, of course, makes some. I think ESAB makes some. Just different brands, so you can find whichever ones you want. These specifically are the Lincoln. I weld with Lincoln and Hobart. I'm not, it is what it is. I prefer Miller and Hobart, but I'll use what I've got at hand. And as far as pliers go, these have worked great. The only thing that I have noticed is that after about a year of use, and of course your pliers get laid down on top of your machine, they get laid down beside whatever you're welding if you're using them a lot. And I found that the stuff here is splitting. You can see that. You can see that it's starting to split here. So that's an indication that they're going to start to break apart, and I've only had them a year. But other than that, I mean, they'll probably last another year or two, and then I'll either tape up the handles or buy a new set. So yeah, there's a lot to be said for these pliers. They're really good. Don't hesitate when you buy a machine, especially if you buy a cheap machine like one of the Harbor Freight ones or one of the Chinese ones off the internet. Go ahead and buy you a pair, because you're going to be pulling that wire and feeding and fixing and stuff. You're going to be pulling nozzles off and everything frequently. So go ahead and just spend the money on those pliers. It will save you a lot of headache, in my opinion. I hope that this was informative for you guys. I hope it's beneficial for your plans with welding and fabricating. I also hope that you give me a thumbs up on the video. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell beside the subscription button. That'll turn on notifications. You'll get every video for Off-Road Independence and for BGR FAB. And don't forget to stop by and check out my Patreon page. If you become a Patreon supporter as low as $1 for you to subscribe, then you will become part of the group that has the opportunity to get a giveaway every month once I reach the $15 mark on my Patreon. Plus, you'll be helping support this channel, and I'll be making more cool projects like a rear bumper and side skirt, or not side skirts, rock sliders for my 4Runner, and then I've got other projects coming up as well. So, hope to see you in the next video. Thanks.